What's up, man? It's your boy MoonDog 3732 from the MoonDog 3732 show on YouTube. Hey, man, watch the show, like the show, subscribe, share, and comment. Also, holler at me at the MoonDog 3732 show.com and the podcast, me and Tiffany DJ. But that's neither here nor there. Today, I'm with a special guest. I just met her actually about a week or so ago. We've been trying to set things up. I've been trying, I do it, record all these episodes of the show. I got to edit them and things like that. Me and Tiff DJ just did the thing about she got fired and people were concerned, but that was a skit. Now, with that being said, we have one of the most well-rounded people that I have met in the wild. I have researched. And matter of fact, my words aren't good enough. Could you please introduce yourself to the audience?
The HNIC. I'm Rapper the Game's wife, but we beefing right now, so I need to get my key back and my stuff. So Jason Terrell Taylor, you need to respond back to my DM. Thank you. I am a current student at Georgia State, and I'm at the point now where I just want somebody to loan me $100 million so I can pay these professors so they can just pass me along, man. I just, C's still get degrees. Okay, let's just keep it real. All right, you ain't got to have all A's to get a degree. That stuff is like, let's just keep it real. But I mean, still think y'all should do well. But just don't, do well enough. But still at the same time, still do well. But don't care as much. What else? I am a mom to a cat who's currently sleeping. She'll probably fly across the screen at some point. So if I get attacked by an animal, just know it was a cat. Yeah. Do you like cats or you don't care for cats?
Yeah. I mean, cats are cool. They kind of creepy though. The first time I went to LA and my homegirl was like, "Hey man, check out my cat," and the cat put all the claws in her back. But with that being said,
I was gonna say that happens a lot. A lot of black folks, man, you'd be surprised, man. A lot of black folks don't like cats, and it could sometimes be like, "Oh, I don't like cats because he don't like cats." I'm like, bro, what's your real reason why you don't like cats? I'm waiting for this thing to expire. I'm gonna have a nice funeral. I'm gonna throw her in the garbage. All right, back to the story. That's who I am, man. In a nutshell, free-spirited person who is just out here living my best life, and I'm trying to get a private island because I'm a people person, but I don't like people. So it's gonna be like a cult. So we're gonna have like 10 people or 15 people on my private island, and yeah, the end.
So if y'all didn't know who I was talking about, we were talking about the KYNDRA CRUMP, Kendra with a K, KC. Not Casey and JoJo, but KC. Kendra, let's run some things down. As I noticed on your show, you talk about a lot of different topics. Mm-hmm. You don't just talk about the run-of-the-mill stuff. You don't try to hide from anything. You just say what you have to say on your show and make it happen. Now, if I noticed that you are a comedian, and that's how one of your reels came up. And then it popped up with a joke, and you were like, "This right here is not for the week or whatever." I'm like, "So let me hear it." Then I heard them like, "Oh, I gotta go ahead and you know what I'm saying, and follow her because she ain't scared to say what she want to say." But with that being said, with your type of comedy, are you afraid of this cancel culture situation?
Of course not. I got canceled so many times. Time number one. This is back in 2019, like. Earlier in the year 2019, I said dating a skinny girl is all fun and games until you hit 90 on the freeway and she flies out the window like a paper napkin. See? Oh, here comes one skinny girl. Kendra, this is not funny. Take this post down, right? And I was like, insert name here. I said, listen, insert name here. The joke's on you because you don't even want to upset. Everybody is still laughing, clownish, like, you know what, fine, whatever, you're blocked. Oh, okay. Well, why not just block people instead of just blocking them? Just block them. You ain't gotta announce it. What you want a cookie for blocking me? So then her husband gets in my DM. No, her husband tries to argue with me on my post, right? Over like his wife, I guess, wants to come to the rescue. So I guess he can get some poon that night. Anyway, I don't even think he really cared. You know how sometimes men, y'all will sit here and just be on the woman's side just so she won't like argue with y'all.
Yeah,
So sad. Anyway.
yeah. I've been accused of doing such.
Yeah, I know every man at some point. So anyway, back to the story. You gotta know your worth, fellas. Know your worth. Make these women start working for it. Back to this. I mean, I'm gonna have so many single people and pitchforks outside my window if I keep on going with what I was about to say. But so her husband literally comes to the DM and starts trying to argue with me some more, and I'm like, he's like, man, you guys were childhood friends and church friends. I said, brother, your wife's a hoe. Okay, I don't know if you realize it or not. I don't know if you saw or heard some other people down there in her hoo-ha when you was up inside. I don't know if you saw the space, the furniture, all that type of stuff. But the girl's loose. Okay, I remember every time there was a progress report, she had a new boyfriend, and it's like, sis, what are you doing? Oh, we're not doing nothing. Okay, yeah, but and then she's not all the way there. So you mean to tell me you ain't pounded the stupidity out of her yet? Okay, there's something wrong with her. 7 months later, okay, we in our third trimester of pregnancy. Okay, 7 months later, I think that's third, or maybe I'm not sure. You know, ain't nobody shot my club up yet. Anyway, back to the story.
And left a body in it. But go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. So, so I remember I made this joke. It was like August, September, October ish of the same year. And I remember I made a transgender joke, and I had the transgender joke said, transgender women are not women. Let's call them X-Men.
Actually, I saw a book about that. It was like a comic book, but it had like the X-Men guys on the cover, but all of them dressed like women. I'm gonna like
that. When I woke up to hate messages, it was ridiculous. I'm like, bro, what bathroom y'all want me to meet you at? Get off my page. Like, there were people I went to school with who was trying to bully me, and I'm like, bro, y'all ain't about that life, man. Like, y'all about to get a WWE SmackDown. Leave me alone. But like I said, man, it's, to me, every other month I just get canceled. I have even when I do if you guys watch my Instagram stories, I try to have fun. Like, I work at the airport. So if y'all ever, want to see me in real person, in real life, come see me, Concourse B, Atlanta Airport, Hartsfield Jackson, Atlanta. Concourse B as in Bravo 09. I'm at a kiosk. I am there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, late morning to early evening. Leave me a tip. I'm not talking about your strap on or penis. Okay? Talking about pocket change. Thank you. Shout out to all the women out there whose strap-ons are currently in the dishwasher cleaning. It's time to take them out, ladies.
Yeah, I saw a woman, and she had her jogging suit on, and she had her strap on showing up out of her gray sweatpants, like showing her print for a strap on. So I didn't. I was kind of like,
what did she have any people jog with her, or was she just
well, she had her mate with her. And she was swing low, sweet chariot.
It's ridiculous. So. Shout. You know what studs really stands for? Still titties under that shirt.
I'm gonna have to use that. Still titties.
You ever hit a stud before?
Hmm?
You ever got the draws from the stud?
No. Did you ever
never. Want to?
No.
Oh, I mean, I think that's like ain't that a fancy with a lot of men or something like that?
Nah. Man. I can't speak for everybody else, but I guess some got, which I have seen pregnant studs. I guess when the money got low, they had to do what they had to do, right? So I have seen pregnant studs though.
I've seen women who will have 7 kids and then be like, "Oh, I'm gay, bro." What? Now you're gay like after the last, bro? What?
Yeah, I know people like that. Which made me think when I saw that, I'm like, oh, you just want to be loved by somebody, you just want to belong, but at the same time, you got 7 kids, so you might as well stick it on now with old boy.
Or you know what else? I feel like is a form of mental illness is whenever a stud has somebody sucking on her strap, and then she's over here moaning, you can't feel that, lady. Man, sir, mother, sir, whatever you want to be called, man.
I was on Facebook and they would talk about how women lie, and they brought that up, y'all know y'all be lying, y'all ain't getting no feeling out of this thing, but you up here moaning I know.
It makes no sense. You know what else doesn't make sense? Women who have really big butts but very small breasts, their breasts look like the cookies that finished baking in the oven. That doesn't make sense.
A cup. I know what you're talking about.
And speaking of all the women who got a B cup or smaller, hit me up. I'm starting a little boys basketball camp next year. Oh,
Well,
man.
or as TLC used to be known, the Tiddless Crew. But that's neither
Mm.
here nor there.
You know
Uh,
what's crazy? You know what? That's probably why Chili. She came to my kiosk. This is a true story. She came to my kiosk. I acted like I didn't know who she was, which they're regular people, and she didn't even leave me a tip. Probably because her son looks like a lesbian, and she has no chest. I
oh,
don't
that's the
know.
one with Dallas Austin.
Yes, I'm like
Okay.
I'm like I just like, bro. Why your son look like a lesbian, bro? Why did he take his father's looks?
Hmm.
It would be crazy, right? I'd be like looking at some of these women who have daughters, and I'm like, why the mama's fine, but the daughter looks older than the mama, and I'm like, bro, you only 20 years old, man. Like I don't. This is just deplorable. And you know what else is deplorable? Women
What's
who have
that?
like saggy, like 20-year-olds who like have saggy breasts, and I'm like, you're just irresponsible. Same thing like with the men who are young and their hairlines going back further than abuse in the Jackson family. Like, brother, you're irresponsible too. That was
Man,
me. Can't say
I
that.
often wonder that. Like I be seeing people like, is that like a genetic thing? But then sometimes I see the mom, and I be like, she must got from somebody else in the family. Must have skipped a generation, cause the
You know,
mom's still looking perky.
you know what's crazy? I done seen two people who were extremely attractive have a child, and their child comes out looking like a squirrel with a trash bag wrapped around their head. I'm like, bro, that's
I,
scary.
it's just like I think it was a guy in Japan. He married a woman. They had kids, but the kids were ugly. So he divorced the woman because he found out that she had plastic surgery and she wasn't herself. She didn't look like she's supposed to look until he saw the kids, and the kids came out ugly, and he won.
Mm. I mean, I don't. I believe it. I'm glad that he did that. I'm glad he won. That's his fault. I don't say. You know what? But I got some people I went to school with, and then this girl, beautiful with makeup, takes off. I'm like, yep, your son looks just like you. Couldn't
And
couldn't
that's
couldn't
the
hide
thing.
couldn't hide the face.
Makeup is wizardry. Makeup is wizardry. It's an illusion. It's a
That's why I don't wear
mirage, and it's
makeup.
fooling people.
I don't wear makeup for a reason. I want y'all to know that you didn't go to bed looking, with a trajector. You know.
Going to bed with makeup, messing up all the pillowcases.
Mhm. Exactly.
So, Kendra,
Have
tell us
spent so
about.
much money in bleach and stuff.
See, tell tell us about your form of comedy because you're a comedian as well as other things. But how would you describe your form of comedy?
It's raw. Raw like you just finished having sex with a prostitute without a condom and now you got syphilis. Hey, speaking of that, shout out to all the couples out there sharing the same STD medication, man. Mm-mm. But yeah, that's what it is. That's the only answer to it. It's unapologetic, and it's just whatever comes to my mind. My mama always told me to think before I spoke, and I never listened. But it's
Yeah,
okay.
that's something I have to actually work on, like because being a profession that I'm in, I just can't say what I want to at the top of my head with the people in which I serve because it would probably hurt their feelings, and I probably have a whole board meeting and things like that. So
I mean, it's okay, man. Like I thought honesty is the best policy, though. What
it
are people
is
upset about?
unless you get on the stand and say you did it, and then honesty wouldn't serve you.
You know what's crazy, man? It's that is actually the truth. You try to be like, oh, let me go ahead and be honest, and then you just are still sitting in jail for 50 years. Like I thought I was honest.
Yeah,
You're
you
honestly a
honest.
dummy.
Honestly, I was about to say honestly a fool, but you honest. So you also have a podcast.
Mhm.
Tell us about your podcast because, like I was saying earlier off camera, the podcast range from anything from like she was talking about the favorite liquor. She was talking about stories about her childhood. She was talking about how her mom had snacks her up. But could you tell us about your particular show and your podcast?
The podcast is called the KYNDRA CRUMP Show podcast. And basically I started in July of 2019. And I started with my homeboy best friend at the time. Well, no, we're still best friends, Lance. I have so many people who just leave my life. They just, drop like people's draws, especially when you show me some money. Back to the story. Oh,
Drop it
man.
like it's hot. She in Atlanta, fellas.
So, so I started it only because I have a lot to say. There's only so much I could say in my skits, and then on top of that, like I get canceled. Like I said, I get canceled a lot. So you can't really cancel me on the podcast. You can stop listening to me. You can stop subscribing. At the time, I had like 45 subscribers. Now I got like 10, but it's okay. You know,
Gotcha.
on but on my YouTube, y'all can just listen to everything on there. And hey, hopefully you don't you still support and listen to me. Throughout it all. But yeah, it's great. It used to be 30 minutes and now it's like over an hour and a half to 2 hours now. And I have a collective group of comedians and we have a segment called What Would You Like to Ban? Now it's like for example, I want to
I heard
ban
that.
people who park over the lines, so you just think of a ban and that's what we do.
I was listening to one of those segments today. That was part of the same segment where I think you all were talking about the liquor and things like that. I think that was the
Mhm.
same show. All
Yeah,
right.
it is.
So y'all hear that. Now y'all hear Kendra, she's shooting from the hip. Whatever comes to her mind, she gonna say, and on her show, she has a wide variety of topics. Check her out at the Kendra Crump Show. It's on YouTube, man, or the podcast, whatever one you feel. But believe me, you won't be disappointed because of the wide variety. She have guests on there. And the thing about it is her guests and her, they don't necessarily have to agree, or they don't agree all the time, which they actually say what they feel. They are free to say what's on their mind and things like that. It's a free form. They freestyle. They say what's off the top of their head, and they say what they feel because of the parameters that Kendra have put in place. It's a safe place to say what's on your mind. Now here we go. Clark Atlanta University.
Hmm.
What was that like? Because I went to the Jackson State University, but that's neither here nor there. Tell me about Clark Atlanta, what you major in, and tell me about that experience.
Probably should have gone to that school because I would have had a boo thing. I found me another sis at Clark Atlanta, and I be trying to support these black-owned businesses, but I'm in debt 40,000 now.
Ooh,
Unless Biden is listening, which of course, he is. He's a
of
government,
course
and
he's
it's
not. I
I
mean,
need you.
today is Monday. He probably think today Thursday. I don't know.
Well, Biden, listen. Can you put my name on the student loans? Because I just got a call from Sally Mae a few hours ago. Back to the story. It was cool, man. I didn't really like it as much as I thought because I was watching Stomp the Yard in a different world and, Drumline. And I'm like, ooh, it's going to be just like that. And no, you're just tired and hungry. And yeah, I was going to mollywop some of my roommates and they're dirty. And I'm like, bro, I don't understand how folks leave their folks' house and you come to a dorm and you just trash it up. You don't
Yep.
you don't want to clean. This cleaning, nobody learned how to clean. This is a basic life skill, people. Bugs are easy to get but hard to get rid of.
Oh
That's why
yeah.
in my dream home I'm gonna have only like 2 bedrooms. Or really, I'm gonna have 2 bedrooms in my dream home. That way, like people can only like if you have a drunken night, you just stay the night. No, actually, I'm gonna have like a bunch of rooms, but only one main bedroom, and like you can have a
Okay.
pull out couch. Because I listen, I don't want my family to call me. Hey, we in town. Cool. There's a Hilton head down the street. I don't have time to play with other people, man.
America's Best Value Inn, something like that.
Yes, yes, the Motel 6. Shout out to the people out there. You still got bed bugs on you?
Ouch. They left a light on for me. So what did you major in down there?
Mass communications. So
Uh,
the goal is to have my own radio and television show.
okay.
Let's go.
So let's just say you did have your own radio and television show. Would you talk about the same things you're talking about now, or would you kind of tone it down for the masses because now
Smash and
you
syndicate.
may or may
I'm gonna
not
definitely
be
have
in
to
a
tone it
certain
down.
circles?
I'm gonna definitely have to tone it down. There's some things that I know, like for example, Steve Harvey is one of my favorite comedians, and he had a comedic special. I think it was called "Still Don't Trip, He Ain't Through with Me Yet" or something like that. Right? This is when he was like bald. Like the first one was when he had the toupee, the high
Okay.
top, and the second one, like years later, he was bald. So the second one, he said, there's a lot that I want to say that I can't say on my actual radio station show because of what's going to happen. But he let it all out on his comedy special and everything else like that. That's what's going to have to happen with me. There are things that you cannot honestly say. because of the fact that you will have consequences and repercussions. Like how the amendment is freedom of speech, whichever amendment that is, the freedom of speech one. It's not, we don't really have freedom of speech. The first one. Okay. So we don't really have freedom of speech because of the fact that you can, like, for example, you can say the wrong thing about what's going on with this pandemic and stuff like that, and they will, like, you cannot talk negatively about the pandemic on YouTube, and they will like take your video down. They will shut your channel down. You can't talk about the Jewish on YouTube. I'm telling you, like, the stuff with the freedom, there is really no such thing as freedom of speech. That's just a bunch of poppycock. And yes, that's a real word. Okay. That's a bunch of pop. My mama taught me that. And I wonder why. Maybe because I has the word cock at the end. Back to the story. But like I said, there's like honestly, you can't really, like, the stuff that they tell us in school, all this, like, you gotta take it with a grain of salt. So no, going back to answering your question, I'm gonna have to tone it down with certain things. I had to tone it down just in real life. Like when I'm talking to people and I say, I have to ask them, do you have a dark sense of humor? If they say no, then I just leave them with a clean, bland joke.
Speaking of which, if you all did not know, there was a certain segment on a popular daytime TV show, talk show called The View. And one of their hosts gave their view on a particular situation, aka Whoopi Goldberg. She gave her view on a certain topic, aka the Holocaust. She told them what she thought the Holocaust was about. Whoopi immediately got suspended for 2 weeks for saying her view on The View and saying what's on her mind. We know that there are certain things, certain communities that if you talk about or have a disagreement with, they're going to come for you, like a gang. But at the same time, they would probably say that gangs are bad, but they're going to try to come for you like a gang, and they're going to try to cancel you. They're going to try to cancel your checks coming in. They don't care how you're going to eat after that just because you had a disagreement with them. Ask Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle had a whole stand-up about it. But at the same time, he had a whole segment about how he had a friend of a certain persuasion, how he put this friend on, and how he actually supported this friend. But they went all around that and went off on Dave and tried to get Dave canceled. I'm like, apparently y'all haven't watched the actual special, and y'all did not watch the segment in which he talked about his friend and how much they meant to each other. He talked about the family. He talked about, you know what I'm saying, and how they was cool and stuff like that. But these certain communities that I think a lot of times they latch on to things just for publicity's sake, and so they can keep their name relevant. Because some of them really
like here, they Suge Knight, of the 90s, man. Speaking of Suge, he needs to respond back to my letter I wrote to him in prison. Anyway.
Man, Suge, I mean, he ain't got nothing but time.
I mean, but why? I wonder why he isn't responding back to me. You out here doing interviews, Suge, but you can't respond back to somebody who actually cares about you.
Suge.
I'm just saying, Suge, we can be together.
Conjugal business, Suge. Conjugal business.
I mean, no, he just wait till he gets out. I'm serious. I actually got this fancy. I just want to get some head from him. Back to the story.
Suge got about 25 more years to go. You'll be in no time.
But it's a shame, man, because of the fact that you really, like, it's like the beehive. Do you know how many? Listen, let me tell you something. I've been jumping on people's podcasts since October 2020, and I have been on at least 900 podcasts at this point. Because the reason I was like being, this podcast junkie was because in my mind I had this goal where I said, okay, if you keep on doing something, at some point, what you want, the end goal is gonna actually work for you. You're finally gonna get what you want, right? But then I have to sit back and think, like, you can be doing 10,000 podcasts and you still not end up getting the goal of, hey, now I've been recognized. I'm finally on Joe Rogan. I'm on Joe Budden. I'm finally on the bigger name podcast. That might happen for you, but it's okay. You have to learn. It's a part of life, right? But going back to that, I've been on so many people's podcasts where they have told me prior to recording, do not talk about the beehive, don't talk about the community, make sure. And I'm like, okay, so you're censoring me. But again, a versatile comedian is, or a good comedian. Let me say this: a good comedian is someone who can talk about everything. I can sit here and have a conversation with you without talking about sex or using profanity and still make you laugh. That's a
Right.
good comedian, man. Like I'm equipped to talk in front of the children and the elderly, and that's it, and the ministers. I got a church joke for you all.
Oh, here we
um
go.
the the head deacon uses a church van for Uber. That's one. Number two, just to let y'all know. Number two, somebody in hell. Oh, God, is hot in here. The devil says, on who? All right, number three, women are jealous. I'm pretty sure Eve counted all of Adam's ribs to make sure another woman wasn't created.
Mm,
That's all I have for now. I gotta think of some
mm.
when they come to me.
Now, if y'all caught that, y'all, the subtleness of what she was doing, it probably snuck up on you that it went over your head. All right. I'm gonna ask you this right here, Kendra, because I know you gonna tell it how it is. I see a lot of people talking about we staying with the Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking like the same Ukraine that stopped the African people from getting on the train
Mm.
and told that the white folks had to go first.
Mm.
Y'all standing with them. Sometimes I think like y'all just roll with anybody except for us, huh?
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
y'all roll with every community except for our community.
Mm.
I'm lost. I don't. Are y'all just like going off feelings? Y'all going off like the newest trend right now?
Of course they are.
Like
These
what
are
is
these
it?
are the same people who will sit here and be in line, supporting Gucci, Prada, the white man's clothing that does not give a freak about us. And it's like y'all need to stop buying it. Stop supporting Jordan. Jordan does not leave a tip, man. Jordan it does not tip at all. Okay,
At all.
y'all are sitting here, and I don't even want to say like he invested his money into prisons because that's debatable. And I know the answer, but if you're not woke enough, then you're gonna sit here and try to argue. It's like arguing with a brick wall. You ain't gonna get nowhere. It's
Nowhere.
like sometimes I wish that by the things that I'm saying, people can just like agree with them. But like I said, man, the same people who are sitting here with the whole Ukraine and what's going on with that, they're it's just they're lost sheep. It's the blind leading the blind. Like I can sit here all day and tell y'all, like, cause like I said, I work at the airport, so I see so many of our people wearing the white man's clothing, and the stuff, the white man who does not care, like I said, doesn't care about us. And it's like, it's a slap to the face. And it's like, you guys are trying to riot for them, but nobody wants to support me. Nobody wants to help me out. What's crazy? Out of my percentage of customers, I have 80% white. No. 85% white, 10% black, and 5% other. Out of that
Okay.
85% white, 75% of them leave me a tip. Okay. Out of the 10% black, 1.5% of them leave me a tip. And the 5% other, 1.5, I speak other languages. So if I talk to them in their native tongue, they're like, oh, okay. Or if I'm trying, they'll leave me a tip. What does
Right.
that say? Right? Why? I wonder why. I wonder, oh, even when the Trump, the whole Trump era, let me tell you something. A lot of my bills were paid because Trump people left me a nice tip. Now I don't know if it was because they wanted me to, vote for Trump, or because they really were just looking out because they realized I have great customer service. But I can't get that from black people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, especially black people who wear designer clothing. Oh man, it's a mm, mm, mm.
Well, they probably can't leave you a tip because they probably spent all that money on their designer clothing.
But it's like, and that's what I'm saying. You're trying to look good and trying to impress people who don't care about you, who are going to still sit here and talk about you. And to me, it's ridiculous. Oh, are you stocking up on food? Gas is going up. Okay, okay, all right.
All right. I'm gonna go like, all right. I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying? I
Well,
just tell them I can't make it up.
what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm going to work, and you need to watch the television to tell live vision. That's what you want me to watch, to
Tell
tell live.
live vision. And I had, so I had told my dad about that. He was talking about the news. I'm like, that is not the news if they tell me the same thing on every channel. What's new about telling me the same thing over and over again? And I had told him, I said, it stopped being the news once the anchors start putting their own personal feelings into it. Now you're not telling me facts. Now you're talking about the people that you're actually reporting on are stupid, they're idiotic, they're all these other things. So now, even I was on YouTube and it said Rachel Maddow's greatest hits. I'm like, what? Like her highlights. How you have highlights from a news show?
Oh, I was like, wait, is she a singer? When you said greatest hits, I'm like,
right. It had her greatest hits and her highlights. I'm like, when we start getting highlights on news, like it's the same thing. Like I'm lost. And then now you're talking about CNN. They're gonna do this, but CNN saying the same thing. MSNBC saying. MSNBC saying the same thing. Fox News is saying, but with a twist on it. You're telling me the same thing, and now you're putting entertainment value on the news. Can you just tell me what's going on and let me discern for myself what I want to care about?
My news comes from the shade room.
Why not media? Oh, is Media Takeout still around?
I forgot about me. Did you see one of my posts on Media Takeout? I was famous for like a day.
I'm going to I gotta go back through and catch some more. Your show was like it was a trip. Your show was funny.
Mm-hmm. It was good, man. Yeah, I was caught with Cat Stacks.
Man, I ain't seen Cat Stacks so long. For a hot second, Cat Stacks was on point, and then she just started messing up her face and her body, and man, doing everything and under the blue to stay relevant.
Did you like Buffy the Body?
I did. But before Buffy, though, I like Key Toy. You know, Key Toy used to be down with Outkast.
Before my time, so.
Oh, my bad. I'm a little bit older than,
Yeah, I was gonna say I was born like when I think it's Aquemini.
Down by the river in the tent. Say what?
I was born when Aquemini, that Outkast album, came out.
Oh man, I was bumping that junk. What you talking about?
Like when Set It Off came out, all that. I'm still a young whippersnapper.
Which was a great
Even though I got a voice that makes me sound like I'm 40, but I'm still a young child.
Oh yeah, you're a young buck, young blood, as my boy used to say on Dead Presidents. Young blood.
Because what's crazy is I've seen Dead Presidents, but I don't remember nothing in that movie. Like I seen it a few years back, but I'm like, the only thing I think I remember was it was maybe Lorenz. Was Chris Tucker in that movie?
Yeah.
So I think he was like, it was nighttime and it was like at war. That's all, or it was like they were
they was out there in the jungle together.
Yeah, that's the only thing I remember. That's the only scene that's like blanking in my head right now. But that's
man, that's one of my favorites. That's one of my favorite. Like Lorenz had like 3 or 4 movies I can watch like Menace to Society. Mm-hmm. Then I can watch Dead Presidents. Then I can watch like Love Jones, like all together.
Oh really? Okay.
Oh yeah, but some people they be talking about Love and Basketball is better. I'm looking like that shows that we're different ages. You know what I'm saying?
You know what's crazy? There's been this report going on in that's been so floating around the social media web that says, can we, now that we're adults, can we admit that Love and Basketball is not a good movie? And I'm like, Rotten Tomatoes rated at 88% fresh. And I'm like, bro, what's wrong with the movie? And then somebody said, because basically he was this guy who literally never really cared for her. He treated her like crap. And then she ended up chasing him throughout the years, and he left her and all this, and I'm like, what's wrong with the movie? I guess I gotta talk to somebody about that. And I actually had a conversation with one girl who told me the movie, why she didn't like the movie and broke it down. I just cannot remember exactly what she said. I really wish I could remember because it was not that long ago, but my brain just deleted it. I don't know, maybe because it was Love and Basketball slander. I'm not sure, but I need to hit her up and say, hey sis, can we actually talk about why this movie's not good? What is it about the movie that makes it not good?
That'd be a good show.
That would be. Now I got a question for you. Give me a Black movie, character, or TV show that you don't care for that's very popular in our community.
The Color Purple.
Okay.
Mister. the way they depicted Danny Glover's character
Mhm.
is like he was like a monster. But when you watch the movie some more, you'll see how much of an influence his dad had on him and how he actually viewed the world and things like that. But he was messed up. He
From
was
the beginning.
the way he was raised was because of his dad and how his dad was talking to him and all that other stuff. And then by proxy, he was whatever his dad had instilled upon him. That's what he was actually living through.
Mhm.
But I know some people they love Color Purple. I'm like,
I'm one of those.
I can't really see. I's married now.
You
I'm
know what
married
I think it
now.
was? I know 60% of the lines. What is it about that movie that I like? Because it's my number one favorite movie. I don't know. It's something about the movie that I really like. Um, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Is it because the women end up persevering through all that they went through? Because Miss Seeley persevered, Oprah Winfrey character persevered, Suge Avery character persevered.
Hmm.
Could that be it?
That's a good. You know what? I never thought about it. I just remember watching it when I was 14, and I remember telling some kids in school, I said, it was guys, I'm like, oh, I love the movie The Color Purple. Like, I don't like that movie. I said, the black, I was ready to fight them because of that, about that, right? But they said, Kendra, I think the thing is a lot more men don't care about that movie. Women more so like that movie. It's a woman empowerment type thing. My favorite scene was the dinner table. It seems like every time the dinner scene comes in most in most like black films or so, it's always about to like get crunk, right? So that's the favorite scene when she says, did I ever ask you for anything? Did I ever ask you for anything? I never asked you for nothing, not even your sorry ass hand in marriage. I said, go, Celie, go. Like, I was
See,
like, so but I was
see,
like, I was upset because I'm like, bro, how did it take you 40 years to finally stand up to this man, right?
yeah.
So but actually what's crazy is I'm in my African Americans history studies class, and we had to watch Good Fences that had Whoopi and Danny Glover back together. And I'm like, bro, this is
Hmm.
so fake, bro. Like 30 years ago, y'all was like ready to kill each other. Now y'all happily married. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
So what's that mean?
It's just like on Hustle and Flow, how
Mhm.
you had Taraji P Henson, how she was a whore and a hooker or whatever, and then she had the pimp, and then all of a sudden, years later, they ended up on Empire together with a movie. With a music company.
You know what's crazy? That movie Hustle and Flow is one of my favorites. That is a musty movie, man. I just feel so musty. I just started sweating when I watched that movie.
That,
I'm
that,
like, bro,
that
this is a
club that
musty
club
film.
scene when he got his tape thrown into the toilet. I'm like, ain't no air conditioning on in this scene. And it was so hot looking in that scene.
You know what? I was told because, like I said, I was not. I couldn't watch. I had to sneak out watch R-rated movies as I got older. But when that movie came out, and I was listening, to the soundtrack like a few years ago, I looked at I was looking at the YouTube comments, and they said everybody went crazy with the whole "whoop that trick" like
Oh yeah,
song in the audience in the movie. I was like, bro, I wish I could have been like old enough because you grew up in.
yep.
Are you a '70s or '80s baby?
70s.
So you grew up even though you look like you was born in 1999, you look about cool 21, 22.
I took
But
a shower. I took a shower today. That's all.
but the thing about it is that you grew up during a time period where you could get into a street fight, nobody was gonna call the police.
Nope.
Y'all had one strain of weed back in the day. Now we got 30,000 strains. And here's the thing: somebody told me you was high all day, and it was very inexpensive. You
Yeah,
wasn't paying $30 for a gram.
you wasn't. You wasn't. Just like when I grew up, and specifically with the different type of movies and things. Like one of my favorite movies is The Mac, which Matt Julian just
I
died a
still have
little
not
while
seen that
ago.
movie.
That's one of my favorite movies. At the same time, we could do things. We can go outside, go to each other's house. We knew our neighbors. We had all those things because one, a lot of us didn't have that much, so we had to rely on each other. So we was more of a family. I could go to my friend's house to eat. They used to go to my house to eat. So we all sharing and things like that. But sometimes when people start moving on up, they move on up mentally and think they moving out, but they really not. Mm-hmm. So back in our days, like, then think about this: we had funk, and then we came up with Cameo them, Whitney Houston them, Luther Vandross them, and then we came from that to like Casey and JoJo, New Jack Swing, Wu-Tang. We had all that good music right there. Now, y'all got, right now, some of the music is okay. I don't even know if they still do R&B anymore. I don't, because I don't listen to the radio. And as far as rap, a lot of rappers, they got some awesome beats. But when I look at the videos, I see a bunch of dudes with their shirts off with guns and smoking weed, and no women in the video, so I can't really watch it.
Homies over hoes.
Do the whole man.
Yes, it's
That's my favorite movie.
It's the truth, but you know what? Like I said, man, it's. I don't know. That's why I'm born in the wrong time period. Like I know for a fact, man, I would have definitely lived my best life. Did you go to the Freaknik era? Did you come to Atlanta and Freaknik?
I did not go, but what I did do, I sent my cousin. Well, he went down there, but he used my video camera, and he brought the footage back. You know what I'm saying? He brought me the footage, which was a beautiful thing.
Do you still have it?
No, my camera, because it was one of old cameras, the doggone tape had messed up.
No.
Yeah, it was too old.
What's the one thing that you do remember from seeing in that footage that you just is ingrained in your brain?
How everybody was getting along and partying and everybody was cool.
Okay. Oh, I thought you was gonna say somebody was getting their freak on.
But at the same time, I did see some of the people may have gotten a little too aggressive, like they've never seen a woman before. So stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. And that's when they started, because I kept trying. I was like, bro, how did Freaknik get so out of control? Like, man, it's crazy. It was
people driving or flying hours just to get arrested. Something stupid like that. Now, I'm gonna ask you this. A lot of times, my generation, they want to downplay this generation, but I have to always remind my generation that. So, how do you think this generation got like this? Who was supposed to have taught this generation what to do, what's right from wrong, and things like that? They can learn on their own, right?
We can't. No, we can't.
So, because I was talking to some youngsters about the music. They said, hold on. Wasn't it Joy Generation with the NWA and all this cussing in the music? I'm like, yeah, but that's besides the point. I said, no. Y'all who influenced us, and now y'all pointing the finger at us. Mm-hmm. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, y'all was, I saw some of y'all's pictures, from back in the day. I was like, bro, y'all is wild around here. Did not care, man. But y'all just like that's great. Like didn't care, didn't know camera phone. You actually go to a concert. Did you go to Birthday Bash that was out here in Atlanta?
I didn't. Every time I got ready to go to Atlanta, some came up.
Okay, got you. Well, I was gonna say the first Birthday Bash was in '95, and Notorious B.I.G. was the headliner. So like I said, man, it was, and I haven't been to Birthday Bash since like 2016, and after that, it was crap. I was like, bro, who are these people? I'm at the point in my life now where I don't even know who these new artists are. Somebody's like, hey, that's such and such, bro. Who is that? I don't listen to them.
But I'm gonna tell you what I do. What I do got going on in a couple of weeks. KC, JoJo, Jodeci, Charlie Wilson, and New Edition gonna be down here in Houston. I got my tickets. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, they can't. You know what's crazy? I didn't even know that they were like performing. They just like left. They left here probably about a couple of weeks ago. But look, I just purchased my tickets today. I'm gonna go see. It's gonna be at the Fox Theater in Atlanta. I'm gonna go see Mystical, Trick Daddy, Trina, Trina's always behind Trick Day.
Right.
Jelly. Scarface, even though I really didn't listen to his music, I gotta go against, let's, 8-Ball MJG. That's who's coming to see. That's it, man.
I saw them a couple years ago, but it was 8-Ball MJG, Too Short, Bun B, DJ Quick, Scarface, and a couple more people. The legends of hip hop tour.
Yeah, legends of the hip. I came to see them like years ago.
Now, you know what I really want to see though? I really want to see the Yin Yang Twins. I want to see T-Pain and the Yin Yang Twins.
Okay. All right.
Oh yeah. That's what I want to see.
Pick them up and probably, throw them over your back. They so small. You look like
I heard that one dude from Yin Yang Twins, like he was really, really short.
They are, and they were. One of them is. I remember again. I work in the TGI Fridays little restaurant kiosk thing. So one day, one of them came inside the restaurant, and he came inside the restaurant, and he was just acting a fool. Right, this is one who has dread. I don't know which one it was, but I think that maybe they both. But anyway, he was acting a fool, and he just started taking people's chicken wing and started eating it.
Oh, he was high.
I don't know. But people, the problem I had was they allowed it, but it was white folks just making. I said it makes sense. They just laughing at you. Black folks, we were just looking at you, shaking our head. White folks were just laughing. I'm like, yeah you kind of just set us back another 100 years, sir.
Yeah. All right. So, what influences KYNDRA CRUMP as far as her writing, which I want you to tell us about the book, as far as your comedy? What influences you and how you do your thing, your flow?
What influences me is this Section 8 neighborhood I'm currently living in. So if you heard some background noises outside, somebody yelling at their dog to come inside, that's what, it was them. What influences me is realizing that, a lot of people tell me I got a gift and I said I need to go use it. There was a second part of that question. What was the second part?
Oh, with the book.
Oh yeah, the book. So I finally published my book before the year was over. It's called Diamond in the Rough. All right. And you guys can, if you go on my Instagram page, in my link in my bio, it has everything that you want in there. Every single thing, like everything, right? It's like freaking amazing. So I started my book. It's called Diamond and Rough, and it's basically about a 25-year-old girl from Miami who moved to Georgia to get away from her crazy ex-boyfriend, and she finds love, but the guy that she's with is not as charming as he seems. So it's like a lot of plot twist turns. You guys see what ends up happening, towards the end, middle, beginning, and it's all cute. And it's for 18 and up.
I'll be sure to give my copy, like I said on the MoonDog.
And guys, it's ebook, Kindle ebook, $5. Okay, $5. All right.
I'm gonna have it on this.
I need everybody to please give me their honest opinion. This is my first book. I'm officially an author, and I'm gonna be at the New York bestsellers time. So it's like I finally did it, man. I finally did it.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna read it, and I'm gonna let you know the business. I'm probably gonna do like I'm probably gonna even do like an episode of the show where I'm like reviewing the book and I'm breaking it down and letting people know what the business is.
You know what, guys? Men will support a woman faster than women will support women. I really appreciate you, man. You really
man. Listen, that's what we do at the MoonDog 3732 show. We try to support each other first. Not only, but first, sometimes we don't have what we need. But I'm gonna holler at my folks first, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna spend my money with y'all and circulate it throughout my community first, and then you know what I'm saying. But I wish it was a situation like on The Last Dragon, where we had black people that own a pizzeria. We may have one, but I don't know what it is. It would be nice if I saw some black people. I'm from Mississippi. I'm probably soul food out. I've had soul food forever. I need something else to eat. I can't go to another soul food restaurant.
But I know you know how to make some good baked mac and cheese, so I feel like you do.
I had somebody tell me today they had the best baked macaroni and cheese. I'm like, man, I just had macaroni and cheese the other day. You know what I'm saying? Like, so what do you want to see happen in your career going forward, Kendra? What would be successful? What's your definition of success as far as your career goes?
My definition of success is having my own radio and television show, nationally syndicated like Steve Harvey. My definition of success is I have a home in Miami, Colombia, and Dubai. But I probably need to go visit Colombia and Dubai first and then go and see if I want to live there. My definition of success is having a private island and having like 10 or 15 other people who bring the best out of me living there. Um my definition of success is having my PhD in child psychology. That's it.
Okay. Now, y'all heard what she said. She didn't say that she wanted her life to be easy. She didn't say she wanted somebody to hand her anything. She said she wanted these things and she wanted to accomplish these certain goals. She didn't say anything about a handout, even though that $100 million that was neither here nor there.
I would like that, man. I just want someone. I want to be so rich I can just pay people to do stuff. Brush my teeth for me.
You want to pull a coming to America? Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, wash my hair for me. I'm tired. I'm tired. Adulting is ghetto, man. I would not recommend.
Adulting is rough.
Hmm.
All right, Kendra, we about to
Yes.
wrap this. We about to wrap this thing up.
All right. I
Let, let,
appreciate it.
let's break a couple things down. All right, I got it.
I didn't know
I
I didn't know this
supposed to
part.
be coming to Atlanta this summer, right?
I,
So somebody has been to Atlanta in the wild like me. What would you suggest for them to do and go?
Number one is Magic City. You'll catch me there on Mondays. I actually got to go after I leave here.
Okay, for those y'all
As
that know about P Valley, but go ahead.
as for Dynasty. Number two. Um. Oh wait, don't go there. Go any wing spot. I put like my little food places and stuff like that. I try to like find a new food place to go to once a week. And yeah, any wing spot you can find it should be pretty good. Any wing spot is cool.
Don't they have like some good wings in them strip clubs though?
They do, but if you're not financially responsible,
Oh, okay.
you know,
I
yeah,
got you. I got you.
I wouldn't do it. You can try different like wing places all around.
Okay.
Man, that reminds me.
Okay.
I need to go back to a certain part. Go get some. Anyway, back to the story. I would recommend go to the botanical gardens. I still have not been, so you can go for me. Let me know how. Like in every state, there's one place that we just have not been to. We just keep
Yeah.
bypassing it. That's the botanical gardens for me.
Yeah.
I would recommend going. You guys can come to my house. Big old party. The end. I'll take you to Rick
Then
Ross's house. Go to Rick Ross's house. You can go just drive by.
right.
This it used to be Evander Holyfield's home, but
I,
and then if
I
you can
I
find
remember seeing that.
yeah, if you can find Ti's home, let me know because I don't even know where this man. I know he lives like in south of Atlanta, but I don't know like
Hmm.
where exactly. So somebody can help me out with that.
I ask Tanya next time I holler.
All right, hey Tanya, shout out to Tanya.
All right, here we go. Now I'm gonna ask you this: where can people reach you if they want to contact you today, and how do they contact you? Look at your show, look at your Instagram, and any other social media that you have.
You all can find me on Instagram, the Kendra Crump Show. So the is in the KYN as in Nancy, DRACRUM as in Mary, P's and Paul Show, SHOW. My YouTube is Kendra Crump, KYNDRA, and then space CRUMP. But my Instagram, you guys can just find me on there. And yeah, there it is.
All right, that's it. What's up, man? Like I said once again, y'all know who it is. Your boy MoonDog 3732 from the MoonDog 3732 Show.com. Like, so, like, subscribe, share, comment. He met the podcast with the Tipping DJ. get you some of this merchandise and all that good stuff. With that being said, man, we out. Bam.